What's going on, everybody? It's yours truly. I am Alex Auguste on VividLife TV. Yo, this is crazy, yo. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. But I really want to make sure that I emphasize something. It's been a while, yo. It's been a while since I've been on live. It's been a while since I've done a live like this. I was talking to DJ Brightlight recently, and he's just like, "You went how long without doing a live stream?" And like, yeah, it definitely deflates the lungs, as they say. But two things, right? Definitely getting back into the swing of things, especially as the fall comes around. Y'all know that's the time that I really come alive. That's the time that I really start getting things cranking and going. But also, I actually want to actually have the whole process of getting this room set up is part of this live stream, just because I really feel like that is the whole feeling of this coming back together. So if you guys have never tuned into this before, this is a live stream featuring yours truly. I am Alex August, and this is where I bring all of my conversations together for creativity, travel, fitness, and of course topics on the docket. This is the Vivid Life. We share, we talk, we argue if we have to. And there's a lot that has happened in the last couple months that I have to bring y'all up to speed on. And so I'm just gonna kind of be operating around this room real quick as we're just kind of kicking it and vibing. In the meantime, y'all know how it goes. Tune in or drop into the chat. Let me know where you're tuned in from, how you're tuning in. If you are watching on an iPad, TV, casting to your Chromecast, the whole 9 yards, man, let me know. And of course, as you join in with the conversation with everybody that's with us, be sure to hit the subscribe button, follow other people, and more. There's gonna be more on that as we go. But I definitely, man, I want that energy in here. There's some changes, yo. One, since I haven't done this in the better part of like 2 months, maybe. The biggest change that has come on this, usually I would say that I'm live streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and then all of that kind of stuff. Um, Twitter no longer allows live streaming. So that's crazy. Good old Elon being Elon, or as they like to call him, Muskie. But yeah, Twitter no longer allows for live streaming if you're not a premium subscriber, which to me, um, there's just so much in that, right? I looked over the data over the last couple months just to see what does it look like. Like, where am I getting my most viewers? Where do all my viewers come from, and things like that. And to be honest with y'all, I'm highly convinced that all of my viewership that was coming from Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, it had to be bots. The numbers kind of. I'm not trying to like take away from my own interest or trying to say anything about myself. But the reality is that I just numbers change, right? People tune into YouTube, and you may have to go eat dinner. You may have to do something. It's not unlikely that someone would come on, start watching, and probably have something to do. Especially since my earlier streams were upwards of 2 hours, right? So I know that that's the reality. That's life, and that's okay. I appreciate everyone who comes in, tunes in, joins, and kind of keeps it moving. But 18, 10, 12 people, like as soon as I hit live and then consistently throughout, it wouldn't be surprising to me if Elon was doing that with bots to kind of inflate the number of viewerships that you can have on live, and then use that to kind of promote and boost why there's so much of a value in using Twitter live stream, right? So that's, to me, that's okay, right? There was a lot of viewership, but the views, or I should say, the engagement on Twitter was almost non-existent, right? Um, for a couple of streams, but overall, man, I'm actually really excited to be back doing this. Really excited to be back streaming. I just got in from work and had to go to the grocery store. And I kind of like the idea of this first stream kind of feeling like you could kind of see me putting the skeleton together. So I'm getting my extra cameras ready. Y'all know how I like to do. I do like having extra cameras for different angles. I think it just adds like a level of like depth and a level of like um a level of like depth and a level of like dynamics to the whole stream. So let me get that going here. But overall, man, like I said, it's been a great summer. It's been a very, very interesting summer, yo. There's been Europe again. There have been athleticism with run clubs. There's been a whole lot of stuff that I'm just navigating through right now. You know what I mean? Kind of working through that. And now with the summer coming to an end and quarter three kind of popping off, y'all, it's really this is really the time of year that I come most alive. And I don't know why. All right, I just unmuted myself. So sorry, I am plugging in cameras, and I guess that's just the downfall of doing it this way, right? So, but yeah, I think it's an aspect of like there's just the time is running out on a calendar. You know, end of year is coming, daylight savings is coming. This is the time of year where I just almost always come alive, yo. So this is the time of year when I'm writing the most. This is the time of year when I really start diving into all of my projects in terms of like anything literature related. And I'll tell you guys why I kind of created that habit or where I adjusted to that habit. Number one, with daylight savings, shorter days, less daylight, it just gets this feeling of like, oh, let me just go ahead and go home. So I just go home and I start writing. I also tend to stay up later during daylight savings, which kind of totally makes sense. Um, and I think other than that, bro, it's just it's just this time of year. It just works out like that. So it's just something that I've just kind of grown into. But with that being said, y'all, there was actually a lot. Like I can't even emphasize how much has changed since our last episode on May 22nd. First things first, I'm actually now part of the Amazon Influencers Program, which is really, really dope. I've talked about it before on I've talked about it before on Instagram about like how hard that was because I kept getting kicked out, or I didn't keep getting kicked out, but I got kicked out of it. And it was like, yeah, I had to wait like something like a year. Then I got kicked out of it again and I had to wait 2 years. So they kind of like penalized me for getting kicked out. I didn't really understand the Amazon influencer program like that. So it ended up just being my misunderstanding of how it works. And then them just being like, all right, well, you're not doing it correctly. So we're going to kick you out. Waited 2 years and just happened to see it again and was like, all right, let me apply. But now it's kind of cool because there's so much that previously and selfishly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Previously and selfishly, I didn't really want to be promoting stuff from Amazon if it wasn't gonna benefit me, bro. Like I don't feel like I don't feel like it should be that much of a it shouldn't be like that shocking for me to say. But again, now that you know you can kind of make some money off of something and monetize, yeah, like absolutely. I would absolutely tell you about all the trinkets, gadgets, and cool stuff that I got that I use specifically for this setup. So I've got a JLab camera here that I got from JLab. I've got the 67-inch tripod that I'm using with my DJI Osmo 3. And over here, actually, let's do this. Let's add an extra camera. I I love you. I love Restream, bro. Like this, they will never make me hate you. Never. Never. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now. You can hear me now. Okay. Hold on. Hello? What about now? Can you hear me now? You still can't hear me? I see volume. I see. Okay. Yeah, yeah. There's a little delay. There's a delay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, my bad. I changed cameras and audio went out. Bro, when I tell y'all that I'm really doing this on some like make it feel very, very bare bone, I'm serious. But over here, you can see that I got nice little collection that I got going on here. I got the camera with the tracking. I got my Hulk, Google Home right here, Hulk, X-Men, Black Panther. I actually got a Captain America over there. We got Cuddy on the wall. I just been in here really turning this whole space into my like little creative lounge. I got a PS5 up here. So anytime that I am up here and I'm streaming, I'm up here kind of just chilling, right? Making it more relaxed. This is where I'm going to be writing. This is where I'm going to be recording. This is literally my little hub, yo. I'm trying to figure out this background right here. I'm trying to figure out all of this. This is blank space. I've kind of been leaving it blank for the time being, just for the sake of I might put a green screen back there. I might need it. I might need it empty, legitimately. But yeah, man, it's been vivid life, yo. Like it's been a lot of like revisiting the why, revisiting some of the how, man, and just kind of staying focused on building something more with this brand. Um, and y'all know that I've been talking about community and spectacle. If you've been checking out my what up, Bus? I've been talking about community and spectacle. If you checked out my blogs and stuff, I am now also on Patreon. So Patreon and Discord are two pieces of this puzzle that I think are so dope. The Instagram thing, man, like look, y'all know how I feel about Instagram. I like it. I like it for it kind of being the portfolio or kind of just being the wallpaper of who you are and what you do. But I'm like legitimately trying to connect with people who are like me, people who support me, and kind of just bringing people into a closer look of what I do. Right. Um, a lot of a lot of this creativity looks a certain type of way. Like I was joking about possibly doing a skit today that was like, yo, as a content creator, there are just days where you're just like, oh my God, I fucking suck. None of this shit is going well. Like it's not going, it's not going good. And you can complain about that. And then somebody would be like, oh my God, you're so like consistent with your posts. Like, how do you do it? And it's like, it's like if only you knew that I'm just throwing shit at the wall. And I kind of want to start showing more of that rawness, yo. Like really showing just the very like, yeah, this shit is not put together and it doesn't have to be, because completion is better than perfection. So I just been thinking about ways of how to show that, which goes into so much more of the behind the scenes, right? Um, behind the scenes of what does it look like to be writing a book? What does it look like to like have to make the decision to tell everyone that like, yo, I was gonna re-release my book yesterday. And the shit is delayed. Like I have to delay it. I gotta delay the whole release of the book because we now live in a world where everything has to be labeled as like created with AI or this with AI or that with AI. And it's like, yo, what does that mean, right? So I'll tell you guys what a little bit about that. If you have read We Missed the Meeting, shout out to you. I appreciate your support in reading that very, very dope book. But my novel came out in 2018, and I've decided that, you know, things have changed. I got a different perspective on creativity. When I wrote that book, there was no Marvel world. Like when I wrote that book, there was no like deeper vision of, hey, let's do storytelling, let's do this. There was no videography when I wrote the book. There was when I published the book. There was none of that. So like there's a lot that I just didn't know how to do and I wasn't even thinking about doing yet. Fast forward, a whole lot of life changed, visions changed, all of that. I want to put my book back out. Like I want to put my book back out in a way where like I can talk about it with people and it doesn't sound like this project that I did like many, many moons ago. And with the book actually involving artificial intelligence, bro, I was like, it would be cool for two reasons to one, publish the book with a cover that speaks to some aspect of the book so that you actually get a visual of like what does Richard Ferguson look like what was really happening in that one scene or like what is a visual that can really resonate with the book that'll make somebody like pick up the book, judge it by its cover, and then like actually, you know, run with it. And so since the book involves artificial intelligence, I was like, yo, what if I used artificial intelligence to tell a piece of the story to the book? I'm sorry, tell a piece of the story to the artificial intelligence, make it generate a photo, and that be the cover of the book. That was me being creative and me being like, oh, let's do this cool thing. Not realizing that like Amazon is like, well, if it's, you know, if artificial intelligence was involved in the book, we're going to have to label it as such. And to be honest with y'all, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what implications that can have on sales, marketing, the legitimacy of the book moving forward. I don't know if it impacts it in the Library of Congress, if the ISBN number change. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of things. Um, there's a lot of things regarding this book that I don't really know how far reaching that can impact the book, and I don't want it to negatively impact it. So that's something that I've had to like sit down over the last couple of days and say, all right, do we scrap that cover idea and then like go with something else, or do we like just say fuck it and you know move forward with the book? And the beauty and the nightmare to self-publishing is that, bro, you there's no answers to this. Like there's no let me like drop in and drop a help desk and like ask. There's no consultations. It's like, I mean, there is consultations, it's gonna cost you, but there's no real like answers easily provided by Amazon. They don't say like, oh yeah, well, you know, you won't be able to promote your book as a sponsored post if it's AI or if AI was involved, or if we list your book as, you know, AI, like we won't say that, oh, the cover was designed by AI. It might just be AI. Like, and you know, there's an argument about books being written by AI. Like people are legitimately doing that, which I don't know. Y'all tell me, like, would you read a book that was entirely designed by AI? I'll tell you an interesting little bit about that. I just want to get this cover up real quick so y'all can actually see it. Because I actually really liked the cover. I don't know about y'all, but let me share. Let me share my screen. I'm at work. But yeah, let me just show this off real quick. This is going to be very, very brief because I think that it takes a lot to share this. But yeah, man, like this is it. This is the cover to We Missed the Meeting. This is the cover to We Missed the Meeting. They chose you, Mr. Ferguson. Like, yo, this scene right here was, I was like, yo, like I want a scene from the book on the cover. And of course, with AI, you got to be very careful not to involve violence or anything like that. So I was like, all right, let me just think about this really quick. What is a piece of the book that the piece of the plot, I should say, that kind of matters a lot, but if you just present it by itself, it creates like a small story. And it's this scene right here, which was one of my favorites. There is a chapter in the book called, oof, sorry, Bloody Rain. I almost just caught a brain fart. There's a chapter in the book called Bloody Rain, where the main character, Richard Ferguson, hence the name, he wakes up from or he's having a dream, and his dream is that he wakes up and it's raining, and he looks outside and there's a circle of 10 people, with one extra person standing on the outside of the circle. Old man, he's got like potato skin pants, very old looking, rustic looking kind of old man, and he's got like old tattered clothes. He's not as important, at least for right now. But as it starts raining, there's blood in the rain. So obviously his window starts getting covered with blood. He goes to his front door, he opens it, and when he goes outside, the 10 people are just standing in a circle, standing in the rain. And they're all whispering. The old man is whispering, and then he wakes up. And like right now, in terms of that book, kind of a unimportant, just random scene in the book, but everything, if a dream is part of a plot of a story, or if it's part of a book, you know that it's either foreshadowing something or it's symbolic of something, or anything like that. And that scene really is like actually fundamental to the whole story. Actually, that scene defines the entire story and the entire thing that the story is trying to tell, which is basically that there's always 10 schools of people, 10 schools of thought within people that somewhat has a link, which is holding hands. But that's your community. Any community you have generally, you're going to have 10 different types of people in that community, right? You have your little run club. You're going to have the people who think run clubs are dating apps. You're going to have people who think run clubs are a new club. You're going to think run clubs are like, I'm just here just for a good time. I'm just here, like you just have 10 different people. And some of those different schools of thoughts, they might all be very, very close, and some of them might overlap, but that's how it usually goes, right? At least that's what my theory is. And so this cover is about these 12 people, which if you go into even 12 people, bro, like if you go into the number 12, that's even crazier. But it's these 12 people. It's Richard, it's this old man, and it's 10 people. There you go. And I wanted that scene to be emphasized as a cover because the name of the book is They Chose You, Mr. Ferguson. So I wanted Richard Ferguson emphasized. And I think this photo is great, right? It doesn't have to have the blood, especially since it's black and white. You don't notice blood. But like this photo to me is like, all right, bro, if I wanted to talk to somebody about this book, if I wanted to hand somebody this book, like this image, you don't really see, you don't understand the emotion in his face. Like it was all of these things that I was thinking of. And I'm like, all right, bro, this is it, bro. This is big Joker for me right now and where I am in the journey. This is big Joker for me to put down. And bro, having that whole label situation kind of slowing this down right now is, I'm not defeated by it by any means, but it definitely does kind of suck. So I'm gonna just keep talking about that on content on YouTube, also on Patreon, just to really like just bring it to life, man. Just kind of talk about what that's about. This is another one as well, because so going back to the whole piece about um, the book itself, I wrote "We Missed the Meeting, They Chose You, Mr. Ferguson." Um, just like now, back then, I had delays, so I didn't really know when I was going to put the book out. And since I had a delay, I got bored. And Juneteenth was around the corner, and I decided to write an extra story. I was like, hey, I don't know where this story is going to land, but let me just write an extra story. Like maybe it'll be in that universe kind of situation. And I ended up writing Painting the River Black, which is actually about Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth is coming. They're having this situation. If you read the book, you'll know they're having this situation. And they decide, hey, wouldn't it be cool? Like every year they paint like the river green for St. Patrick's Day. Wouldn't it be cool to like paint the river black for Juneteenth? Which actually came from me. Like that was an actual idea of mine. 2018, I think, or 2018, I tweeted Mayor Bob Buckhorn in Tampa, and I was like, "Yo, what if we painted the river black, bro? Like for Juneteenth." Um, Ecologically, I don't see how that's any different from painting the river green. Now, someone might argue, like, well, the river is already like the Hillsborough River is already kind of dark and murky sometimes. So you might not even notice any difference. If somebody was like, oh, no, the fish can't see in black, like, I don't know that the fish can see in green, but, it was an idea. And so for this story, I was like, all right, let me bring that story to life or that concept to life. And then I was like, well, painting the river black is performative, bro. Like, or what are we actually doing to celebrate Juneteenth? And so, painting the river black is a Juneteenth story. And I finished writing it before I published the book. And so, when the book actually came out, I had two stories that were both part of the series, I'm gonna say, right? I don't want to say universe because it sounds like I'm biting on Marvel. But it was both part of the series, out of order but connected. Same character, some of the same characters, and some of the same characters that I wanted to use later on. So I was like immediately like, should I have done that? Now what do I do with this standalone book or story that's just kind of living on my website? I was using Wattpad at the time. And then the same thing happened around Halloween, where I wanted to write a horror story or a scary story that would tie into We Missed the Meeting. But We Missed the Meeting is already scary in its own ways. And I was like, all right, let me just try to just write a story that's just a little different. And I ended up coming with There Goes That Man Mama. That was the original name of this little short story. And it's involving a woman who goes to court for the sentencing of the man who killed her daughter. And We Missed the Meeting is about this event called The Absence, where we discover that like there's no white people around. It's just black people. And so her showing up to that courtroom for the sentencing of this man just happens to coincide with the absence, which just happens to coincide with not receiving justice. And there's a fallout from that. And then there's this whole change of course, that's just like, honestly, we're tired of this shit. And so it's kind of cool. It's an interesting story. Also builds a strong baseline that kind of continues through the whole series. And so with 3 books written in the span of 4 months, I decided to put all 3 of those together and re-release the book. That was the second edition of the book. that came out. And so the previous edition of We Missed the Meeting, They Chose You, Mr. Ferguson, it opens up with They Wept a Good Weep. Actually happens in like chronological order. They wept a good weep. Then Painting the River Black. Then it goes into They Chose You, Mr. Ferguson. And while I like that, I think I'm just gonna like flood the concept, right? So the next version will still have all three of those stories together, but I think it would also be cool for each one of those books to be released as a standalone, just a small pamphlet, 12-page paperback. I know that sounds really, really crazy. But and my bookshelf, y'all probably noticed this. This bookshelf is right here. It is empty. It's never empty. I have a shit ton of books. But I have not brought them up here yet because one, the book box is heavy, and two, I'm really trying to figure out, do I really want that bookshelf long term or whatever the case. So yeah, man, this is like something that I've been trying to figure out how I was going to get this out on the 20th. My only regret is that I released a video with the date in the video. Like, had I not put August 20th in the video in the reel that I released, then I probably wouldn't feel as like bothered. But here we are, right? We're a day behind, and now it's just like, let's play catch up and let's just get it going, right? That's all you can do. So yeah, man, that's the groove. That's the move on good old We Missed the Meeting. Can't complain. I cannot. All right. How do I do this? I do this? Yeah. All right. So this thing has changed. But yeah, going back to VividLife TV, man. I'm also working on getting this on TikTok. That's gonna be cool too. I'm now monetized on TikTok, so the plan is to get this actually over to TikTok and start streaming on there. TikTok is a beast. Um, and when I say beast, I mean that it is a beast to conquer. I thought TikTok was like you go live and they push you to the algorithm and you people start tuning in. Hey, what's up? How you doing? What you doing? Where you live? How old are you? No, no. Now I see why people do weird shit on TikTok. There's a lot of people passing by, a lot of just like passerbys, a lot of just yo, it's a beast. It's a beast. Like I legitimately was caught off guard by being on TikTok for the better part of an hour lunch break and having had spoken to all of three people. Very humbling, by the way. Very, very humbling. Ladies and gentlemen, Mango. Come on. Yeah, like very, very humbling in that regard, bro. Like I was befuddled. Like, oh damn, this is shoot. Like but yeah, so TikTok is gonna be part of this swing as well. And yeah, man, like sorry. Just trying to get everything situated and up and running, how it goes. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna let y'all chime in for a little bit. Where are y'all at with y'all stuff? I do actually have to get this QR. Marvel World Worldwide. I think it's critical, man. I think it's critical. Um, that bro, we figure out ways to help each other. I'm really big on The next phase of everything is smaller. The next phase of everything is smaller, bro. Like, topic on the docket, let's talk about it, right? Recently went to the club and it was absolutely whack. It was whack, bro. Like, it was really, really, really whack. And I couldn't help but think to myself that because of COVID, DJing has changed completely, right? This is my theory. My bad for keep doing this, y'all. I need to shave my mustache. It's connected with my nose hairs. It's tickling. But COVID changed DJing completely. There are DJs that have grown their entire following from DJing on live on your TikToks, on your Instagrams, on any live stream platform that they can find, right? And you ran into your issues with the copyright situations from all of the record labels, but that I don't think that really changed anything. And the beauty to that was that those DJs that did it well and did it right were playing music that we absolutely don't jam to in the clubs. Like, that's not the music you would hear in the clubs, not to mention the releases of music and albums by K Tronada. There's like a new sound that's coming out, or that had come out in the last 4 years. It's a new, more bouncy sound. It's more vibey. Like, people want to actually dance. If I'm gonna risk COVID, I want to dance. Okay, don't have me in the club standing still risking COVID. Unfortunately, that was the case for a lot of people. Like I said, unfortunately, but like, this new wave, now you have the club that's still kind of operating very antiquated in the same way it was operating pre-COVID, right? And this is not a Tampa thing, this is everywhere. The best DJs are not the DJs in the club. And what's happening now is, now that those DJs have a following, why would I split it with a promoter, with a club, bottle service, this? When I can get all those people who are interested in following me, I can get them in a simple space, ladies and gentlemen. There you go, out of here. Um, get those same people in a concentrated space that I control, and we vibe out on a live stream. So that's where you get the emergence of your boiler rooms. That's where you get the emergence of your R&B apartment. Like, that is the new shift. And when you look at that from the vantage point of everything creative, like, bro, that's the new wave. That is the new wave. The new wave is like shrinking things down back to like simpler times. Like, you don't need 120 people at your vibe, at whatever it is you do. You actually just need 35 solid people. 35 solid people who will get you, who will understand the vibe and understand the vision. And that's it. 35. I could have said 56. I think 56 is a great number. Yeah, actually, 56 is the number I always aspire to for anything. 56 people. It's over 50 people, right? 50 people is a great number. But 36, solid, your first 36 people, 35 people, you can't even deny that, right? And so when you think about it from the standpoint of DJs, music, vibes, you can see it. It is happening in real time on these YouTube videos. People are playing 3-hour YouTube sets in an apartment, and it is absolutely a vibe, right? And now you can be in your apartment dancing like the girl behind K Tronada. Same thing goes for what was the other one? DJs. The next one for me is this. Like, it is literally worldwide. Like, right now, don't get me wrong, the name is not shiny, it's not sparkly. I gotta figure that out. I'm usually really good with coming up with names, but I wanted to come up with a name that was easily understood, like as soon as it's seen, right? And that to me is like, let's get creatives together where we can start to just understand each other. Like, you talk to me about what you got going on, like, it's undeniable. Give me the link. I'm gonna follow it right now. I'm gonna talk about it right now. I'm gonna ask you about it later, right now. Um, so to me, that's really what it is. And I have been thinking about what can creatives do in a 35 person capacity, right? And it doesn't sound far off from anything that I've talked about before. It doesn't sound far off from anything that I've talked about or envisioned before. I just think we need more of that community, right? That being able to be in that space where all we do is talk about the creative. All we do is talk about creativity. You get to talk about your creativity without that, like, without having to say shameless plug. Like, to me, in the best world, I should be able to talk to somebody like, yeah, like, no shameless plug, bro. This plug is shameful. Like, I'm gonna plug myself in right here, right now. Like, to me, that's kind of the best world. That's where we all really want to be at. Um, and so yeah, that's what my mindset was, where it's like worldwide is for everybody. Like, everybody can join it. Everybody can be in there. Once you're in, you can introduce yourself. You can talk to people. You can share your experiences. You can flex on Fridays. One thing that I definitely want to do as well is complaint hour, where, bro, we just vent. Bro, let that shit loose. Empty the clip and just get it off your chest and be heard by other people who can also say, like, yep, I'm struggling with that shit too. F Adam Montesaro or Montessori or whatever his name is that owns Instagram, right? Or F the algorithm, or I can't believe this happened, and such and such. Somebody wanted to book me for exposure, whatever the case, right? But that's like a place for that. I was gonna do something and I forgot, so I'm gonna just let y'all react to that information real quick. While yes, I was trying to get my phone camera set up for this. Hold on one second. Oh shoot! All right, the young 0034. Hey buddy, really having a good time watching your stream. I like to be part of the community and stay updated with your schedule. If you don't mind, add me on Discord. Man, dude, I hope you're not. I hope you're not spam. That would be annoying. But nah, I got you, bro. I'll let me find you right now while I get this thing popping. But yeah, man, I think the whole piece that I said about, like, the DJs, it's crazy, dog. Like, it's crazy. I enjoy seeing that. Like, we're moving away from, like, the club. The club is dead. Like, even bars are starting to kind of feel a little dead. Like, you know, people have these, ladies and gentlemen, mango. Um, people have um these posts on Instagram and on TikTok about, third spaces are going away and stuff like that and all that, right? And then it's like, yo, doesn't that make sense that third places are going away? Like, people are not going to the club anymore. People are having to spend 300, 400, $700 to sit down in a club. What? Like, how did we get here from snap your fingers, do your step? You can do it all by yourself. Like, how did we get here? It's just like it's an antiquated system. I know I'm using the word system, but it's an antiquated business model, I should say. But yeah, hold on, y'all. I'm literally still trying to get. By the time I get this thing popping, I actually don't know why it's not working. There you go. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys a little something. This is what I. This is what I had in mind. Okay. Let's see how this looks. Hold on. This is the time. Oh. Yeah, this is really the time to do all this experimentation. Like I said, y'all, I'm very much like, why not? Why not now? Now, it would suck really bad if that falls. That's a real mirror. All right. Maybe not the best camera angle. Yeah, that wasn't the best camera angle. It wasn't my best work, bro. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta try it out. But yeah, man. Other than that, I just want to see how y'all are doing. Like, what's popping? Who's tuned in right now? We got 2 on. We got some people on Twitch. We got some people on YouTube. Yo, this is like my favorite thing to do. Just in terms of the streams and stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm always starting the day or starting one at least some aspect of the day with what I want to talk about. So that this is just an extension of that. But I'm also talking a lot about, or not talking a lot, but just focusing also on just narrowing down, bro. I don't know if y'all saw my post today about, letting Chat GPT roast my feed. I didn't too much like that, which is ironic because I almost wore my mustard beanie onto on the stream just because I thought it was more like a branding thing. Like if I wear it often, it feels like very, oh, he's always got that mustard beanie on when he does the streams. But yeah, nah, after AI, yo. Um, but nah, but I'm really gonna be adding in an aspect of this stream where we talk about movies because as you guys can tell, music, movies, action, horror, that's kind of my niche. Like that's kind of my thing. I kind of really like movies. I like music, but I'm not one of those music people who wants to listen to every latest album. Oh, sorry. I'm a little scatterbrained right now. There is something that I wanted to follow up on in terms of um y'all, this cat. Cat, listen, you're not coming back in here. Yeah, she will meow, meow, meow until and start scratching stuff. But there's an aspect that I wanted to revisit with the whole DJ thing, and that I also have picked up on, and this is me coming from a performance standpoint. I have been working on, the Vivid Life tour, right? Doing the Vivid Life tour in a way where it spans over events that I'm hosting, experiences, as well as streams and performances. I am an artist as well. I do poetry and I do music. And something that kind of came across my mind in regard to the way things have changed over time, call it 10 years ago, right? I could perform at a open mic night and I would meet a lot of people. A lot of people would meet me. They would exchange my information. Even if they were not someone who frequently attended, there was still an enjoyable aspect of just sitting in an open mic and listening to this wide range of artists, poets, musicians that you don't know. And this is a theory. I really want to hear y'all thoughts. If you've been to an open mic, let me know. If you have not been to an open mic, let me know if this changes your opinion of open mics. since COVID, since there were not a lot of open mics, many artists were also doing these live streams as well. Their own live stream videos or their own live stream concerts, performances in their homes. When you couple that with the fact that everything else in your life is curated to what you like, the music that you listen to is curated to what you like. The movies you watch is curated to what you like. There's an aspect of every aspect of your life is curated to your interest, to your life. The idea of going to an open mic almost sounds the complete opposite of that, right? Because you're going to an open mic and you don't know who's going to perform other than maybe the feature, other than who invites you, and other than the one or two or four regulars that always perform. So it's kind of like that idea of going to an open mic and sitting through the whole thing while all of these people perform, I think might be a challenge for open mic nights. And so as I was like, okay, where do I want to like perform? Where do I want to line up? It's like, well, I got to go first. I have to go to these open mics first to see which one kind of matches up with what makes sense for me. Yes, I can go and I can gain new followers, but like I can gain new followers, I can get people listening to it. But the audience that I already have also needs to go to the open mic. And if it's not enjoyable, I'm gonna have people that's gonna dap me up and be like, all right, bro, I'm gonna head out. That may be me overthinking it. That may be me over analyzing it. But at an open mic, you don't know when you're going to perform. So it's a challenge. Like it's a challenge that has like these are modern challenges that need modern solutions. And yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that for a little while now as the time has gone by. Like, you know, these open mics have to almost turn into shows. And this is coming from me having had hosted open mics and having hosted shows before, like my own shows. The open mics are cool, but you don't really know who's going to sign up. You don't really know what they're going to sound like. You don't know how they're going to flow. And a good host of a show, fortunate for the show, unfortunate for the other artists, you sometimes have to adjust and say, all right, well, this person kind of brought this energy and we're going to have to save this person for later. God forbid you run out of time at the end of the night, right? And you're like, oh man, like trying to rush to get every artist to perform, it becomes a not enjoyable experience for a lot of people. These are things that are like, I don't know. I think about that as I'm planning shows like Vivid Nights, as I'm planning shows, like other things that I'm currently working on. So there's a lot in the works. It's not a lot where it's overwhelming, but they're definitely in the works. And man, I like when I tell y'all that you guys are gonna see levels of behind the scenes that I've never actually shown myself writing. And prior to recent times, the reason why I never did that was because um quite frankly, writing is as boring as you would imagine it to be. It actually really is boring. It's really hard to show anything exciting about writing. Imagine that phone piece, imagine like this set up in here, and it's just me for 6 hours typing, writing away, taking a bite of an apple. Like I've always just thought like that's boring, right? No one wants to see that. Like you don't even get to see what's happening in my head. But in the world of content, you could stick a 3 second sound on that and put something cool over it, and people will be like, "Oh, okay, well, you did your thing, right?" So it's like, why not, right? So just really wanting to show like the behind the scenes, and that's where Patreon comes in at. I am using this first stream to 100% like I said, shamefully plug everything in. Um, so check it out. Yo, I know that ain't who I think it is. What's going on, man? Yo, you know what's funny? I was listening to your music the other day, bro. I really hope you got a chance to hear me say that out loud. I was listening to your music the other day, and just like everyone whose music that I listen to often, which sometimes I just gotta be like, yo, listen, some people's music just takes me to a place, it takes me to a memory, it takes me to a place in my life. Um, but I was listening to Low Cree, artist known as Low Cree, and I was like, if he dropped something right now, it would be very good. It would be very, very entertaining. I would listen to it. I would subscribe. I would go to a show. So take that, bro. Please, 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 please take that. I hope nothing is standing in your way of making another release because your stuff is good. Same with Mr. Miller. I was listening to Mr. Miller. Now, these are folks who have graduated from, I think graduate. I don't really want to say graduate, but I think that's the best word to use. They've graduated from the pursuit of music, and that's dope. I love that for them. But that's another thing that I miss about open mics too, and just like weekly shows of that nature, is that almost I remember like being at USF back when I was 18, 19, 20, and there was a group called the Poets. And the Poets, as you can imagine, it was an open mic night. It was on a college campus. It was every Thursday night, and it felt like to me when I got there, like I was like, yeah, I'm a really good writer. I had never really performed, but I had music at the time, and I was like, yo, I know that I'm good. And I got there, and I was like, these motherfuckers are good. Like they're really like good. Oh shit. And it just made me competitive, number one. But competitive is not the right word. It just made me creative. Like I was in a space where there was other creatives, and yo, you're meeting on a weekly basis, and you're like watching people perform, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go home and write some heat, and I'm gonna come back with it, and I like, and that's how I got better. Like, bro, the level of I remember like my first couple poems, they were poems that I wrote on paper and stuff like that. And I will never forget performing my true first poem. Like real life first poem. There was it's the first poem that I say that I ever truly wrote. I remember the date too. Let me actually just make sure this date is correct because I remember it was Valentine's Day. Um, let's see if February 14th, 2009 was a Thursday. Hold on. What day of the week was 2/14/09? It's a Saturday. Okay. So it was it was 2/12. Yeah. February 12th. Sorry, I'm a nerd. I need to know. February 12th, 2009, bro. Like, wrote, performed my first poem. That was officially, you are a poet, you are a performer. Welcome to the club. And, bro, like that, to me, that was just like dope, bro. I'm actually going to do it. Fuck it, right? I need this for the clips. So, shameful plug. It's a much longer poem, but I think brevity is sweet. So literally, I remember, I'm gonna tell y'all the story behind why I wrote it, how I wrote it, whatever. Short story. But I got my net check in college. And prior to this net check, I used to have to go to the library. I would have to jump on their rusty, dusty, crusty ass computers. prior to that, the only computer that I had ever had was a computer, like a PC tower that I would have at home. All of my music prior to that point was on that PC. All of anything that I had ever created, documents, writing, music, beats, anything existed on this computer that was back home in Miami, which also had gotten swept because none other than my boy Jay. I'll almost put his whole name out there. Jay, I'll never forget this. He was downloading like um the T-Mobile Sidekick, like backgrounds and ringtones and all this stuff, and a pop-up came up on my computer. Malware wiped my shit out, right? So going to USF my freshman year, 2008, I had all of like 6 of my worst beats. I had to start my whole collection of writing over. I was writing on pen, not on a computer. My net check came in January of 2009, and I bought my own custom made computer. And that, I actually still have it. It's somewhere in the garage. Um, it lasted all of 11 years. I think in 2021 or 2020, it finally like took its last breath, right? Was still using it. And I remember when I first started using it, I was like, yo, this is beautiful. It's like Vista, like I can do this. And I just excited about it. And somehow the love of my new computer, I was like, yo, it would be kind of dope if I made a metaphor for it, which would still also resonate with a woman. And this is what I came up with. Oldest poem. I wouldn't be surprised if I do this and someone would be like, yo, that old ass poem. Our connection is an ode to our showering, our powering of sweet and sour dreams. Every hour we update our feng shui in such ways that every day seems like a login, a startup, a newly formatted, fully functioning device. With love, lust, virtue, and vice, passcodes, downloads, and loads of sounds so reminiscent of our old dial-up love. She says she never lets a man get so close. I told her I came in like Trojan horse. Of course, her firewall was dropped and a key stayed locked and access was granted. I'm her new server, and we've gone beyond our boundaries of what cables and cords can afford us to go. We're wireless. Wi-Fi type connecting me through Wi-Fi, letting everyone know that we are, but not how we function, a zipped folder on an iDrive. I click a loader, zip encryptor, coder, closer, browse over, mouse over, right click, enlarge, and minimize, maximize. After 5 minutes of uploading, I close her, restart her, upgrade her, update her, save her, made her greater than version 2.0, cater to her needs when she needs charge. I'm a part of her starving heart. And it went on and on and on and on and on. To the point where as I got older, I was like, oh, maybe you're kind of running it into the ground. But that piece is the most important piece that has lived true up to, current day in terms of like that poem. There are people who actually still remember that poem, which is crazy. But yeah, like I think about that often. I think about open mics. I think about performances. I think about vibes. I'm still a vibe conductor. I'm still a vibe creator. And so it's just, to me, it's a matter of like building that up, and most importantly, building that up with other people who you don't have to do a lot of like convincing, because they also have these visions too. I think a lot of times in collaboration, people have the same vision as you. They've just never been validated in the fact that that vision is legitimate. And so that's where I come in with, again, the shameful plug of of Marvel World Worldwide, right? For creatives, a place for creatives to hang out, come vibe, come collaborate. There are multiple channels in there. You can talk in the main, you can plug yourself up, you can talk about what it is you got going on, you can do Flex Fridays, you can do Complaint Hour. There's going to be a whole schedule available for that, in terms of like, hey, what are we doing every day? How can you participate and engage with people in the chat as we grow? I actually just this past Saturday, we had a random person jump in. Her name is Samantha. What's up, Samantha? Shout out to you for jumping in. She saw it on Threads. Like, let's do this. Let's grow a community, right? And then the other side to it, as I'm just kind of wrapping this up real quick, is my behind the scenes Patreon. showing y'all what actually takes place behind the scenes. Of course, I am looking for your support. There are 2 tiers right now for memberships. Y'all can check that out at that link. Check it out, look at it, consider, support your boy. If you are not ready to support your boy as of yet, then jump into the Discord. That is support that I will take as well. And then lastly, as we move forward with this project of We Missed a Meeting, I do suspect that the next couple of steps will happen very, very quickly. So I'll look forward to your support in that as well. This was me just kind of actually just building out the space, right? Feeling the vibe and the feng shui of VividLife TV in this space. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be live. It feels good to be on a stream again. And there's so much that's coming. Oh my goodness. This right here, as simple as it seems, this is a terabyte worth of storage. And this bad boy right here has everything from this year. So it's going to be dope, man. It's going to be real, real dope. I am actually going to be cutting this stream off and starting another one that is going to be exclusively an edit and chill stream. I have some editing to do. I have some videos to do. And I'm actually going to do that. I'm actually going to change it up a little bit. You know what? We're going to do edit and chill in Discord. So I'll be up in the Discord channel. Join Discord. You all can join in on a voice channel, and I'll just be in there just kind of kicking it, yo. And I'll also have a live stream up. Kick it with me, edit and chill. I got some footage that I gotta get uploaded to my computer and into the cloud. And I'll just vibe out to some music, man, and we can keep the conversation going. So I look forward to seeing y'all in there. And I thank everybody who's tuned in so far for joining me on the Return Season 2 as we go forward of VividLife TV. One thing that I gotta say before I go, without a doubt, is the schedule for VividLife TV. I think I might have mentioned this before, but VividLife TV is a lot of work. And I have had to, the last couple of months, the reason why I was not doing this stream is because a lot had changed. I had moved. The Run Club got involved. I am still very much focused on, slimming down, getting to that 190, getting down to my 16% body fats and all that kind of stuff. So I have to diversify what I'm doing throughout the week. And it only made sense for me in that regard because I have priorities outside of this to change the schedule for VividLife TV to bi-weekly. I think that's very important for y'all to know. There's going to be some weeks where there are back-to-backs. So there's going to be about 3 weeks coming where we're just going to be nonstop every week. And then starting, I believe it's September 18th, we will then move to bi-weekly. Very, very important. Need some time to breathe in between these streams. And also need time to actually plan for dope guests to join these streams as well. So there's a lot to that. But follow me, subscribe. Everything, everywhere, all at once is I am Alex Auguste. So check that out. TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, alexauguste.com. Check it out. I'm sure y'all know that there will be more posts about that in terms of the streams, the stream schedule, and everything you need to know. So look forward to having y'all next week. Grab some wine next week. I'm going to be very authorly next week, actually. So next week will be wine and a read through, where I don't just talk about the book. I'll read you a passage from the book. Grab some wine. We'll do some reading. So y'all check it out next week. I'll see y'all.